Welcome back to Inside Workforce Development. I'm Melinda Kelsey, and today's sponsor is the Tennessee Department of Adult Education. And with joining me today is Jason Beard. Jason is the administrator over the adult education program with the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, and a counterpart of mine. Delighted that you're here, Jason, to talk about something that is very important in the state of Tennessee and our workforce development process. So I love the way you've structured the adult education program and realigned it, where if someone does get a high school equivalency, you're basically teaching them and getting them immediately into employment or to the TCATs or community colleges. So it's endless the way you have progressed that and aligned all of that. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
Before the restructuring, there was really no, at least geographic alignment to the local workforce development areas, to the economic and community development job-based camp regions, or any of those other services that our students really need. And that's the thing. We like to frame it this way, that our goal, our purpose is not to get a student a high school equivalency diploma. It really isn't. It's to get them a job. It just so happens that getting a high school equivalency diploma is a major hurdle to getting a job.
Sure.
So if you saw it as a manufacturing type setting, there's a conveyor belt that comes in bringing in a raw product. We're the first stop. We provide some refining, some shaping, some tooling, and then we get that student to a certain point where we can then pass them on to our other workforce development partners. And that throws so many people off that we're in the Department of Labor and Workforce Development.
It is.
But it's because we are workforce development. That 500,000 that we've been talking about who do not have a high school diploma or equivalency in our state, those are people that should be in the workforce. And we've got to get them past that first hurdle of getting that academic achievement, a high school equivalency diploma, so that they can go on into the other parts of the workforce development infrastructure throughout the state to receive additional training, whether it's credential bearing, whether it's at a TCAT or a community college or even a four-year institution. Believe it or not, we have so many success stories where our students go in and they excel. They get their high school equivalency diploma, they go on to community college, get their associate's degree, they go on and get their bachelor's degree at a four-year institution. Just last year, we had a student that was accepted into Yale University.
Oh, wow.
I mean, those things really happen.
Wow.
So, you know, is it a guarantee? No, but what it does say is that this is not an inferior credential, that this is a true academic achievement that is really putting in place the academic skills that a student is going to need to go on and be successful, whether it's in post-secondary or in the workforce.
So if I'm working in a work environment and I do not have a high school equivalency and I'm really bad, I want to move up in my company or within the organization, and I'm really bad in math, which I am. So do you see a lot of mentorship? Do you have one-on-one? Maybe I'm really good in all these other factors, but I'm really, you know, lacking in math. So do you see a lot of you see people that come together and work together to obtain their high school equivalency? I know we've attended some of your graduations, and they're incredibly moving. They really are.
It's a neat situation where in a normal graduation you'll see the parents cheering on their child going across the stage. In our graduations, you see the child cheering the parent on across the stage. But we bring together a real learning community. We bring together folks who, in many instances, society has turned their back on, and we provide them a welcome place to really thrive. Our instructors are trained better than any around, and they care. They're not doing this to get rich, I guarantee you that. But they're doing this because they love their work. They know that they are changing lives. They know that to prepare someone to get their high school equivalency diploma, they're preparing them for a whole new career path. Not just a job, a career. An opportunity to go on to post-secondary. We're so proud to be a vital part of the Drive to 55 initiative. because again, you've got 500,000 people that can't even take that next step to get a post-secondary credential until they get a high school diploma or its equivalency. So the more of those individuals we can bring in and get them through this course of instruction, if math is their struggle and they're doing well in the other subjects, we're not going to waste their time by putting them through an English class or punctuation or science or social studies. We're going to focus on math. And we are going to make math understandable and applicable for the very first time for many of these folks' lives.
The fear factor is erased when they come into the class, correct?
It is.
You and I have talked about the medium probably pay for someone just with a high school equivalency versus someone with a post high school equivalency and or greater. There's a great discrepancy in pay.
It is.
And opportunity. You know, we see that, we hear that. We actually had an employer, it was interesting, I know you've gone out and done a lot of employer meetings, but they'll say, well, if I give them this, they're going to leave me.
Right.
But it's an investment, and I think taking that first step, if an individual is looking, they do not have a high school equivalency, where do they go? What's that first step that they need to take to make sure that they're enrolled?
To address the employer concern, when you invest in an employee, they don't forget it.
That's true.
Not only do you create a different level of loyalty by showing that you care enough about them to invest in them, you also create a whole new pool of candidates to promote into leadership positions within your organization.
That's true.
You don't have to shop outside. You get someone who has already learned your business, learned your processes, learned the way you do business, and they're ready to take leadership positions as soon as they get that. To address the other part of that.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.